Oh my God, guys, the Boreas saga continues. It continues here. Back-to-back Boreas videos talking about his nerf and subsequent drama and then the refund. And boy, you guys have some strong opinions as well. I actually want to go through some of the comments on yesterday's video because suffice it to say, a minority of you guys, but a very vocal minority, you're very, very angry. You're angry because maybe you had Boreas and now you think the nerf went too far. Some of you didn't have Boreas and you think the nerf didn't go far enough. Some of you guys want refunds immediately. Some of you guys don't want refunds. You think it's an awful idea. Some of you think it's just a bunch of drama that's all fabricated by content creators. Man, it's crazy. It's crazy. But again, welcome to the internet here. And a lot of you guys just kind of fall somewhere in between, right? But Moonton has responded, right? I released a video like 22 hours ago, and I'm not saying it was my video that prompted a response, but nonetheless, here on the Forerunner server, we have a new announcement. It's Boreas refunds all of a sudden, right? So they went from the ChatGPT Q&A response, which you can find out more in yesterday's video, to a full-out refund now. This is interesting. Let's read about it. Okay, people are upset about the Boreas nerf. They addressed this earlier in the little the notification, but how are they going to respond to people being upset, essentially, right? In a subsequent update, we will introduce a new hero reset event. During this event, commanders can reset Boreas to get back all their resources invested in his development. We will also distribute a hero reset book to all commanders, which can be used to reset any hero and get back their development resources. So wait a sec. Even if you didn't have Boreas, you'll be getting a hero reset book, I guess in interest of fairness. That's how I read that. Is that how you guys read that as well? So all commanders will get a hero reset book, or is that just all commanders who had Boreas? Well, I don't want to make a call definitively either way on that. It reads to me like all commanders. It says any hero and get back their development resources. So yeah, anyway, I digress, but that's how I read it. Hero reset. Number 1, you'll be given all materials consumed for the hero's level up, star up, promotion, skill upgrades, and awakenings after resetting. Number 2, commanders who have used any legendary hero soul stones on Boreas will have the same quantity refunded upon resettling. Number 3, or resetting, excuse me. Settle 2, why not? Those who have used Boreas for awakenings will receive back the equivalent number of Boreases at their initial level upon resetting. So if you have like an A5 Boreas, I guess you're going to walk away with 5 Boreases. Congratulations. So, golly, guys. That is a lot. I mean, it's there's no ifs, ands, or doubts about it. This reset, especially if they're going to give everybody a reset too, just for the heck of it, right? I think this is a very good thing. It's very, very reactive by Moonton. Clearly, they want to keep the player base happy. They're responding very, very quickly for a developer to all of this stuff, right? And I really don't have any major problem. I'm sure some of you guys will find a way to have a major problem with this too, but I don't have any problems with it. I have nothing negative to say about this resources refunded section. Let's keep reading. Number 2, hero adjustments. We will take measures to prevent similar adjustments from happening ever again, as detailed below. We apologize again to all commanders for the adjustment to Boreas. Our original intention was for Boreas to act like a core hero within the freeze lineup, with the purpose of synergizing with other heroes possessing freeze abilities and creating a battle style focused on freezing techniques. And also killing everything immediately on the map. 1 second of playtesting should have, made that pretty apparent, right? I'm not a wonk in these games. I'm not an expert grinding away for 20 hours a day on these games. And even I knew after 10 seconds of Boreas that he was pretty overtuned upon release. Does that justify a massive nerf, blah, 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 blah? No, I'm not saying that. I'm just spitting it how I see it, right? He was strong. I mean, there's a reason everybody wanted him. We also want Boreas to maintain his leading position in the arena and PvE modes after the adjustments. To ensure a balanced and enjoyable experience for new heroes, we'll analyze additional combat data to find potential imbalances and adjust as necessary in the future. We're also planning to establish a player testing group to receive diverse feedback from commanders. We hope the commanders will actively participate in this group. How do you feel about this? I think it's actually a good idea. You know, crowdsourcing some feedback, I think is great. As long as they're obviously tapping into a pretty diverse set of players who actually take it seriously, the opportunity to provide feedback to the developer, right? I think generally speaking, and other games do this as well, right? I actually I was part of a similar group with Clash Royale, right, which I covered a few years ago on my other channel, and they had a group of about 25, I would say, content creators, website, you know, curators, and other community leaders, some pro players in there as well, and they had a nice diverse kind of a feedback session that I think actually got in front of a lot of imbalancing before their release. So I actually think this is a great idea. So they end by saying, given the considerable impact new heroes can have on the early games ecosystem or on the game's ecosystem, we're dedicating more resources to monitor their post-release influence, ready to quickly resolve arising issues to maintain game balance and integrity. Through this process of testing and gathering feedback, we aim to ensure that new heroes provide a refreshing and fair experience for all commanders. We hope Boreas remains a beloved companion to all commanders, providing opportunities to explore unique builds and enjoy a more diverse gaming experience. As always, feel free to give feedback, blah, blah, blah. All right, guys, so there you have it. That is the response from Moonton. Again, I'm a big fan. I think this is a great way of being incredibly responsive to the community, and I think that the refund has been treated, golly, like I think a bit way above and beyond any other game that I've ever seen institute nerfs on their characters. Right? They're refunding absolutely everything, and then giving everybody else some sort of a free hero reset as well. Which hero, if you don't have Boreas, which hero would you reset on your account? All right, guys, so let's read some comments from yesterday's video. Now, as I said in yesterday's video too, my experience has been that he's like, listen, man, I think he's still good, right? Don't murk me in the comments, but I think it's my opinion. I think he's still good. However, after hours of testing him after the nerf, I think he's still good. However, listen, he was the strongest hero in the game, and he is now just a good hero. You know, there's a big gap there. So I think the nerf, personally, I think they could have toned it down, you know, and I said this in 3 videos now. I think they went a bit hard on the nerf hammer on Boreas, but I still think he's like serviceable, right? I still think if you summon him, I still think it's a happy day for you, I think, you know, like that's my opinion. Moreover, if I get a free hero reset and I can use it on anyone as a Boreas owner, I wouldn't use it on Boreas. I would use it on somebody else because I still like Boreas. That being said, I wish they didn't go so hard, you know? That makes sense to you guys? I don't know. All right, top comments. 206 comments on yesterday's video, which is a lot for this channel. Okay, now they nerfed him. Will they unnerf his rates is the bigger question and issue. That's a valid point, right? It's a valid point. His rates are so low. So will they unnerf those rates now? I doubt it, but who knows? If we make a stink about it, Moonton's super responsive, so maybe they will. Moonton, you really need to fix those rates. Damn it. Or players will quit. All right. TLDR, don't agree with the nerf because it Fs the little guys, and the big accounts will not care. Long post explaining why it is bad and wrong, and there are good solutions that don't bleep us. Okay. Oh man, this is a long one. I'm not going to read it all, but you guys can go ahead and give some love to this guy. He signs off with a much love, random dude on the internet. I like the sign off there. It's a valid point, man. I mean, I'm looking at this from the point of view of somebody who has a pretty endgame account, I would say. So, you know, if I did have a Boreas, and I didn't have these other heroes that can do some heavy lifting as well, maybe the impact of the nerf would be felt a lot bigger on my account. So there's really no denying that, and it's a valid point. It's a valid point. All right, I think their buff to nerf ratio in this game is a huge variation. So they buffed like Kriya, Crash, and they're still unusable and trash heroes, right? On the other hand, they nerf Boreas and all his damaging skills, which is too much. His drop rates are extremely low, and yes, he deserved a nerf, like his range or maybe one of his skills, but nerfing all of his skills will make him less viable in a lot of content. Hopefully, Moonton knows what they are up to. Another fair point, more than fair. I totally agree with this. I mean, the Kriya, the Crashes, dude. Give them some big boy and big girl buffs, I think, you know? Refund was a complete loss in translation. That was totally Moonton who wrote that. I don't know, guys. What do you think? It's it feels, I don't want to make a direct accusation that I can't back up, because that's all the internet is full of, right? People making direct accusations that they can't back up, I feel like. So I don't want to add to it, but this question on the Q&A, it seems fishy to me. Seems a little fishy. Seems a little fishy to me. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. Anyway, my thought is when I read, okay, wait, a raid comment here. It's funny that we're having a conversation now over here in Watcher of Realms, because it's about to happen in Raid with their new fusion. This is why the relationships between players, content creators, and developers is so frustrating. A good, reasonable dev would say, we've changed this character in a meaningful way. If you're unsatisfied with him, here's an item to restore all the resources you spent. Well, hey, guess what? Todd? They did it. They did it today. They did it. Well, they did it on the Forerunner today. I want to be very clear, right? Content creators being the primary voice of the community are in a position that they can't effectively level criticism, or simply choose not to, since summoning videos still make bank. Well, I'm just going to be totally 100% real with you guys. I lose money on every summoning video I've ever made on my channel. Like, flat out. It's just a fact. I can show you the how much money I make. It's like, I don't know, ad revenue. It's around like $100 max, and it cost me more than $100 to buy those summons. So I'm gonna keep it totally 100 with you guys. You may notice this channel's really small that I'm doing here, and it's more of a like diversify my content for the long game. Like the reason I'm doing this, and I like the game and the community and the creators, and I collab and all the stuff, right? But I'm not like I'm not obviously raking it in, and I'm certainly not afraid of Moonton. To be totally honest with you guys, I have never talked to maybe I've had one DM ever with the community team at Moonton. Maybe one DM asking like, hey, can I get gems or any perks or something? Like it was a very self-serving DM, but that was it. Like, I'm sure there's some centralized chat where we all give feedback and blah, 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 but I'm actually not a part of that right now at all. So I'm not afraid to criticize at all. I mean, hell, I'd made a video yesterday saying how I thought it was, we should get some sort of, like, just watch yesterday's video, right? So yeah, man, like Todd, and anybody else who thinks this, man, like I'm not beholden to Moonton here. I don't care so much what they think. If anything, I want to continue making videos like yesterday, because I'm not going to take any sort of credit for this turnaround, this 180, but I made a video talking about how messed up this is, and then a day later they gave a refund on the Forerunner, which is a good sign, you know. So anyway, maybe I'm being a little sensitive here, perhaps, but it kills me. It doesn't kill me, but I understand why. But when I see comments like these on videos on all my channels, it's like, dude, never once in my entire life, over 11 years on YouTube, has a developer reached out to me and been like, hey, you need to tone down the criticism. Never. Generally speaking, they kind of just leave us to our own druthers. And I feel like I make a lot of freaking critical videos. I feel like, from my point of view, given my temperament as a person, like I don't want to just go around just always being critical, because I always think of it this way too. And sorry for going super long on this, but it's true. I always think of it from a viewer's perspective. Do you want to tune in every day to watch your favorite Watcher of Realms content creator, your YouTuber, Raid Shadow Legends, Clash Royale, Clash of Clans, any game that I've ever played? Do you want to tune in to consistently hear me complaining about the game every day? And I try to flip it on things that I like to watch, right? I like to watch some gaming content on games that I don't cover myself. And I've watched a couple channels that all they do is complain. And then I'm like, dude, why am I even bothering watching this channel, man? Like, I'm watching it because I like playing the game. Now, there's always a time and a place for criticism. And I feel like I do a lot of it. But anyway, that's my 2 cents. You guys can, believe me or be cynical or do whatever you want to do. But that's kind of how I feel about it. My thought when I read refund is was they meant to get all your resources back that you spent on Boreas. Well, now we're getting it. Now we're getting it, Christopher. Let's see. I said, let me just read a couple more quick ones. They have been great, but they took a play from Plarian's playbook, posting the question on there. That question, right? I use my ultra rare legendary Awakened Soul to make him A3. Would love to get that back, that he's weak now. Okay, so a lot of you guys seem to think he's weak. All right, 10 ones. I don't know why Moonton nerfed him in all the content when people complaining and just in PvP. Right? So again, a lot of you guys think that they probably went a bit too hard, right? On the nerf. So anyway, guys, I could read all these comments here, but we'll be here for 10 years. The good news is they took some immediate action. That's the good news. Let me know what you think about any of this stuff in the comments below. Much love, and I'll see you on the next one. As always, take care, guys.